E.N.D here. I'm going to continue giving you my advices for War of the Spark pre-release. Pre-release will be in a couple of days time, depends when you're going to see this video. And I urge you to go and take part to your LGS's pre-releases. Pre-releases are fun. Pre-releases, you will play the cards of War of the Spark. You will use them, you will open boosters. It will be always the first time. I have already given you, and I will leave here a link at the end of this video, my advices for the pre-releases, what you need to do, what you need to bring with you, what and how you should build your deck. Today I'm going to show you the playable cards for every color. Obviously, in your pre-release, the majority of your cards will be common and uncommon. You will have 6 boosters. This time, because it's War of the Spark, you will have 2 promo foil. One will be a Planeswalker and the other will be a rare or a mythic. The Planeswalker can be an uncommon, rare and also a mythic. So in theory, you can find 2 mythics foil promo. But as I said, the majority of you will find an uncommon and a rare, an uncommon Planeswalkers and a rare and a mythic card. And you will have 6 boosters where you will have 10 common, 3 uncommon and the 1 rare or mythic. But you have to remember that every booster will have a Planeswalker. Therefore, the most important cards for your pre-release for War of the Spark will be Planeswalkers. You will have surely minimum 7 Planeswalkers, 6 in the boosters and 1 foil promo. That is the minimum that you can have. Everyone will have 7 Planeswalkers, but some of you will be so lucky that you will find more Planeswalkers. The maximum that you can find, it's 9. 10 is very difficult. I'm saying 9 because the 2 foil promo will be both Planeswalkers, and you will find a foil Planeswalker in your boosters. This is why the maximum that you can have is 9. In theory, you can also have a 10 because you can find 2 foil Planeswalkers. Yes, there's a possibility that you will find another foil uncommon and foil rare. So let's take the minimum 7. You will have 7 Planeswalkers, and I urge you to play these Planeswalkers. Let's go and see what Planeswalkers we will have. The most important is that you select your Planeswalker based on the static ability they give you. In this case, Saheeli is one of the best uncommon Planeswalker there is. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact. Every time you play an instant or sorcery or enchantment or Planeswalker, you will create a 1/1 colorless servo. That is very useful when you are blocking certain creatures. Also, obviously, there is the -2, where target artifact you control becomes a copy of a target artifact or creature you control until end of turn. This is very useful. So the 1/1 colorless servo can become a very big creature. Kiora is another one of those Planeswalkers, very strong. It is a 3 cast, it has 7 loyalty. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, you draw a card. The -1 is untapped target permanent. This is a very strong Planeswalker. These are the Planeswalkers that, in my opinion, are the most playable. Dovin, for 2 and you get a 5, 2 and 1 white or blue, you get a 5 loyalty. Artifact, instant, sorcery spells your opponent cast cost 1 more. This will give you a little bit of advantage over your opponent. Theo, you have hexproof. This will avoid any target player, and also the -2, you will create a wall. This is very useful for defending your creatures. Samut, creatures you control have haste. This is very useful because every time you play a creature, it will have haste. And also the -1, it will give target creature +2/+1 and gain haste. Scry 1. Also, you can use this ability 5 times, and if you have Proliferate, you can increase the loyalties of your Planeswalkers. Vraska, 4-drop, whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player or Planeswalker, put a +1/+1 on counter on that creature. Very useful, and the -2 you will create a 1/1 assassin that can destroy a Planeswalker. Nahiri, as long as your turn, creatures you control have first strike, and the equip ability costs 1 less to activate, very useful, especially in limited, and the -X will deal X damage to target creature. This can be used as defense and as offensive, because you can play this one, you -6 and you deal 6 damage to a particular creature that probably you will destroy it. Kazmina, spells your opponent cast that target creature or Planeswalker cost 2 more. Also a very good advantage against your opponent. Angrat, a 4-drop 4/5. Creatures you control have menace and you can amass 2. You can create a creature. If you have Proliferate, you can increase the counters on it. Jaya, if another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent, it deals +1 damage, very useful, and has the -2 that will deal 2 damage to any target. Therefore, it will deal 3 damage because you will use the static ability. Kaya, this is a 5-drop. These Planeswalkers are also very playable. Your opponent and permanents your opponent control with hexproof can be the target of spells and ability, very useful, and the -3, especially the last ability, you will exile target creature. With this, you can remove easily 2 creatures and Kaya will still be alive. Obnixis, still a 5-drop. When opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to him. Destroy target creature, its controller draws 2 cards. Now, these were the Planeswalkers that I believe they are playable. I didn't cover the other cards because simply their static ability is used only in certain occasions. There is a particular Planeswalker that tells you that you and your opponent cannot gain life. If your opponent is playing Lifelink, yes, you can play that particular Planeswalker, otherwise I wouldn't play it. Therefore, the other Planeswalker, I would consider them as not really playable, and I would put them in my sideboard unless I'm playing against someone that particular static ability used against him. As I said, the majority of your cards will be common and uncommon. I'm not going to cover rare and mythics. Rare and mythics are strong. They are all playable. Majority of them, they are playable. So, I'm going only to cover common and uncommon for every color. These, I believe, they are the cards that are most playable, and if you're sorting your cards by color and, as I advise you, by playable, these are the staple cards for this particular color. 1-drop, it can tap target creature with great cost 2 or greater, very useful card. This is a very strong card. For a 2-drop, you have a flyer creature 1/1. When it does combat damage to a player, you proliferate. If you have Planeswalkers with the minus ability, you can minus them and proliferate and increase them, their counters. Ajanis Primate, if you can have some sort of life gaining, this is very useful because it will grow very big. Worst Creature, for 2-drop, it's a 1/3 flying creature. When eventually will get bigger, will give other creatures +1/+1 for a 6 ability. But it's for a 2-drop and it's a 1/3, it's very strong. Rising Populace, a 3-drop and 2/2 creature, and when another creature or Planeswalker control dies, you increase the +1/+1 counters, it will get very big. Sunblade Agent, for a 6-drop, it's a 3/3 flying, first strike, vigilance and lightning, very useful, even though the casting cost is a bit large, but it's a very good creature. Now, these were the creatures that I deemed playable. As I said, you need creatures and also you need removal spells. Every color have a set of removal spells, and I urge you to play a good number of removal spells, because this will get rid of your opponent's best cards. Prism Rail, for 3, it's an enchantment, and it will exile any Planeswalker or creature until it leaves the play. You also have a scry 1. Gideon's Triumph. Target opponent sacrifice a creature that attacked or blocked this turn. Very, very useful card. Defense Strike for 1 drop. Target creature has +1/+0 until end of turn, and you also draw a card. This is a very good combat trick. Rally of Wings. Untap all creatures you control with flying, and they get +2/+2. A very good combat trick, especially in defense. Gideon's Sacrifice for 1 white. You choose a creature or Planeswalkers, and all damage will be dealt to that one. Very, very good, especially if you are being attacked with a good number of creatures. This will be a settled the wreckage, but you will lose a creature and your opponent will still have his creatures. Wanderer Strike for 4 and 1 white. Exile target creature, then proliferate. Now, in blue. Blue is usually the color of counters, but still you need defense. This is a very perfect 1 drop. It's a defender. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 1 at a 0/4. Augur of Bolas for 1 and 1 blue. It's a 1/3 creature. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery among them and put it in your hand, and put the rest in the bottom of your library. Very good if you need a particular instant or sorcery to counter your opponent's creatures. Flux General for 2 and 1 blue, 2/2. When you cast a non-creature spell, you proliferate. Spellkeeper Weird for 3 and 1 blue. It's a 1/4. 2 tap, sacrifice, return target instant sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Very useful card. Aishok Skulker for 4 and 1 blue. It's a 3/5 creature that can become unblockable. Eternal Skylord 4 and 1 blue. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you amass 2. Zombie tokens you control have flying. Therefore, the army that you will build, it will be flying. Kiora Dambreaker. This is a 6 drop. This is a 5/6 creature. When it enters the battlefield, you proliferate. Now, as I said, removal spells. In case of the blue, usually they are counters, enchantments, and also they have the draw cards ability. This one, enchanted creature lose all abilities and has base power and toughness 1/1. You have to be very careful. If you put this particular card on an army, the army will be a 1/1 with power and toughness, but still will retain the counters. So I would use only this card on creatures and not tokens, because the army, the counters will still remain on the creatures and will still remain, and it will be only a +1/+1 bigger. Be aware. Last top plating, you amass 1. You and permanents you control have hexproof until end of turn. This is a very good combat trick that will avoid certain creatures to be destroyed. Teferi Time Twist. Exile target permanent you control, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If it enters the battlefield as a creature, it enters with a +1 addition +1/+1. Very useful to drop, especially if you want to defend the creature. Stealth Mission. You put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature control that creatures can block this turn. Crush Descent. It's a counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, and you have also amass 2. No Escape. Counter target spell or Planeswalker spell. Very, very good card. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting in the graveyard, and you have also a scry 1. Tamiyo's Ephany. For a 4 drop, you scry 4 and then you draw 2 cards. Very useful if you need a particular card. Black. Black usually is the color of destroying straight creatures with Death Touch. Lasso de Previle enters the battlefield, amass 1. It's a very strong creature. Eternal Taskmaster enters the battlefield tapped. When it attacks, you can pay 2 and 1 black and return a target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Very, very good creature. Vraska Finisher. When it enters the battlefield, you destroy a creature that has, or planeswalker that has been dealt damage that turn. Herald of the Dreadhorde. When it dies, you amass 2. Vizier of the Scorpion. When it enters the battlefield, you amass 1. And zombie tokens you control have Death Touch. Very, very good card. Price of Betrayals, these are the removal. Remove up to 5 counters from a target artifact, creature, planeswalker or opponent. This is a very strong card that for a 1-drop you can kill straight a planeswalker. Spark Harvest, as energy cost to cast a spell, you sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Very, very strong card, very strong removal. Bleeding Edge, for 1 and 2 black, up to 1 target creature gets a -2/-2, and you also amass. Liliana's Triumph, each opponent sacrifice a creature. If you control a Liliana, each opponent discard a card. Unlikely 8, target creature +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Very, very good combat trick. Soaring Thirst, it is 2 damage to target creature and you gain 2 life. Casting cost is a bit difficult because it's 2 black, but it's a very strong card. Toll of Invasion, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an online card from and that pair discard it, and you also amass 1. This one, target player discards 2 cards and lose 2 life. Very good 4-drop. Red, direct damage. 1-drop, first strike, and when it dies you amass. Very good 1-drop. Tibalt Ranger, it deals 1 damage. When it dies it deals 1 damage to any target. And it also can get a +2/+0 until end of turn. Very strong card. Burning Prophet, when you cast a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+0 until end of turn, and you also scry 1. Spellgorger Weird, when you cast a non-creature spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. It will get big quite fast. Dreadhorde Twins, when they enter the battlefield, you amass 2. Zombie tokens you control have trample. Very good if your army is quite big. Somewhat Sprint, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Scry 1, for a 1-drop, it's a very strong combat card. Chandra Pyrohelix, it deals 2 damage divided by among 2 targets. They can ditch 1 damage, or direct 2 damage. Very good card. Jaya's Greeting, it deals 3 damage to target creature and you also scry 1 for a 2-drop. Very good card. Nahiri Stoneblade, up to 2 creatures each get a +2/+0 until end of turn. Heartfire, it deals 4 damage to any target, but you need to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. Chandra's Triumph, deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control Chandra, it will do a 5 damage. Honor the God Pharaoh, draw 2 cards and you amass 1 card. Bold Band, cost 3 less if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. You change the target of a spell. Bond of Passion, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste and deals 2 damage to any other creature. White, green, we also have a spider. Usually we always have a spider in green. For a 2-drop 1/3, it has reach, and whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it gets a +2/+0. If it blocks a creature with flying, it's a 3/3 creature. It's a very strong card for a 2-drop. Paradise Root has hexproof as it has untap, and you tap and you add 1 mana of any color. A very good mana rep. Vivian Grizzly, for a 3 and 1 green, 2/3 Bear Spirit. For a 4, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature or planeswalker, you may reveal, put into your hand. Allen's Wolf, Allen's can be blocked by creatures with 2 or less. Bloom Hulk, when it enters the battlefield, you proliferate. It's a 4/4, very good card. Moe, it's a legendary creature, so you cannot play 2 at the same turn unless you want to remove 1. It's a 4-drop for a 3/3. It has trample and has vigilance. If 1 or more +1 cards are put on Moe, put +1 on it. If it has a +1/+1 and you proliferate, it will get larger and larger, and it also has trample. Centaur neutral for a 4-drop, it's a 2/4. You gain 3 life and you add 1 mana of any color, another mana rep. Troll 5, 6/5. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater can be blocked by more than one creature. Now, removal spell, Giant Growth for 1 green. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Return to nature, you choose to destroy an artifact, enchantment or exile card from a graveyard. Steady Aim, you untap a creature, gets +1/+4 and it gains reach. Nissan Triumph, you search for up to 2 basic forests. If you control Lanista, you search for 3 lands. Bond of Flourish, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from under, put into your hand, put the rest in the bottom, and you gain 3 life. Very strong card for a 2-drop. New Horizons, this will give you a little bit of mana for 3. It will enchant a land and give you 2 mana of any color. Band together, up to 2 target creature control, each deals damage equal to the power to another. Courage in Crisis, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and then proliferate. Imagine using this on Mohu. Careless, Ujin's Conjurant, X, 0/0. You play it for 5, it will be a 5/5 feature. This is a very strong, if you find this, I would play it absolutely. Mana Joy for 3. You scry 1 and you add 1 mana of any color. This is very strong if you need a particular and also if you splash. Fireman Vessel, this is also another mana rep. Probably this card will be used in Commander. Sahili's Silverwing, a very good flying creature. Now, when it comes to multicolors, personally I would use the majority of these cards. The mix of colors, like this creature, the Simic, the Selesnya, the Rakdos. These are staple cards that I would play them. Will give you an advantage over your opponent. These all are uncommon. This is a very strong card, Anger's Rampage. You choose to target player sacrifice an artifact, creature or Planeswalker, very strong card. This Spark, exile target parent converted mana cost 4 and greater. Domri's Ambush, 10 Districts Legionnaire, Dovin's Veto. The spell cannot be countered and you counter target non-creature spell. Tyrant's Scorn, Pledge of Unity, Invade the City. These are all staple important cards. And last but not least, our lands. This is a very strong land, Emerges in Zone. You sacrifice Emerges in Zone, you can cast spells as though have flesh. Interpreter Beacon, also, it's a very good mana fixes land, and I would play this land. These are the most playable cards for War of the Spark. Good luck for your pre-release, and remember to have fun.